Hello, I'm Will Sampson. Welcome to the Woodworking Network podcast. Welcome to this episode of the Woodworking Network podcast. Join us as we explore the business of woodworking, big and small, and what it takes to succeed. I'm Will Sampson. This episode is sponsored by FDMC Magazine, and don't forget to take our survey at woodworkingnetwork.com/podcast-survey. Today we'll be talking to Phillip Crabtree, the inventor of Cabinotch, a patented cabinet box construction method and a dynamic outsourcing opportunity. But first, I want to talk about, it's just a box, right? There's a saying in the arid West, often misattributed to Mark Twain, that goes, "Whiskey is for drinking and water is for fighting." If we were talking about cabinets, it might go, "Kitchens are for cooking and cabinet boxes are for fighting." Almost every shop I visit has a different way of building their cabinet boxes, and they are quite willing to strenuously debate that their boxes are best. I mean, a box is a box, right? Or is it? First off, there is the decades-old argument over face frames or frameless construction. The argument goes that face frames make a box stronger, protect the front edges, and prevent racking. Frameless advocates counter that their boxes are plenty strong, don't rack once installed properly, full overlay doors and edge banding protect the edges, and without frames, there is much more usable space inside the box. Not to mention all the savings in time and materials there is for building frameless. Face frames still have the edge in the United States, but Europe and Canada seem to do just fine without them. Go figure. Even without resolving face frame or frameless, you can get into a whole nother argument over the actual construction of the box itself. Dowels, biscuits, screws, staples, mortise and tenons, blind mortise, a whole host of new RTA fastener schemes, not to mention glue, case clamps, bar clamps, or no clamps at all. The hell with whiskey. Many a beer has been drunk or spilt in the course of arguing over cabinet boxes. In the early days of cabinet making software programs, these arguments used to drive software companies and their programmers absolutely bonkers. Every time they would show their programs to new potential customers, everything would stop when the shop owner would say, but we don't build our boxes that way." It seemed like every new version of every program included a new box construction method in the library, and sales efforts assured new customers that they could build it your way and still reap the benefits of the software. When shops started converting from conventional manufacturing to nested-based CNC routers, there were even more arguments about box construction as construction methods were designed to maximize the efficiency of the machine. And don't even get started on the arguments over whether to make your own boxes or outsource them from a supplier. As I heard all these arguments play out over time, I just had to laugh a little. I mean, in more than 90% of the cases, the customers didn't know the difference and really didn't care. All the customers cared about was whether their cabinet boxes were going to hold up, fit all their pots and pans, dishes and glassware, add value to their house, and impress their friends and neighbors. Biscuits are for baking, not building cabinets, they might say. There are a number of issues at play here. One is the ability of many custom shops to truly see value through their customers' eyes. Another issue is holding on to old ways of doing things more for tradition than efficiency or customer demand. And yet another issue is not really measuring the differences in between construction methods in materials cost, production and installation efficiency, and real-world durability. Do you know how many boxes a day you can put out with your current methods? Have you run tests with other methods to see if they can be improved? Do you actually explain technical differences to your customers so that they can perceive the value in a way you build? But maybe all that doesn't matter. I mean, it's just a box, isn't it? Before we get to Phillip Crabtree, let's pause for a word from our sponsor. FDMC Magazine is your vital source of information to improve your woodworking business. Whether it's keeping you apprised of the latest advances in manufacturing, helping you solve your wood technology problems with Gene Wengert, or inspiring you with case histories about successful businesses and best practices, FDMC Magazine is there to be the sharpest business tool in your shop. Learn more and subscribe for free at woodworkingnetwork.com/FDMC. Now let's talk to someone who really knows his cabinet boxes, has a patent on a unique construction method, and is relaunching his company, Cabinotch, as a dynamic outsourcing opportunity for cabinet shops. I am pleased to have as our guest today Phillip Crabtree, the inventor of the innovative Cabinotch cabinet system. Welcome to the Woodworking Network podcast, Phillip.
Great, Will. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm really excited to be here today.
Well, that's great. Let's start with a little background. How did you get started in woodworking? And you had a custom cabinet shop for many years, isn't that correct?
Sure did. My father started the cabinet shop back in 1975, and I was born in 78. So my dad's passion for woodworking kind of poured over to me. I loved that the time I could go spend with my dad. Anytime I needed to spend time with dad, I would go to the shop. And some of our most precious times and neatest projects and things and my best memories of really my childhood were learning, how to use a belt sander, how to use a nail set, which you don't see very many uses of today, and how to do all of the things, how to use a chisel properly, how to sharpen a chisel properly, all those kind of things that are memories that are ingrained in me, were given to me by my father and my upbringing in the cabinet shop. So
that's great. Tell us about Cabinotch. What is it, and how did you come up with the idea?
Sure. Cabinotch is it's innovative, really box solution. So what we mean by that is that it allows cabinet shop owners to be able to outsource and use the power of what outsourcing really means to outsource their cabinet boxes. That allows the cabinet shop to be more productive. It allows us also to get a very high quality product to the custom cabinet guys. And in a quick turnaround time, we have a 5 to 7 day ship time. So with all that being said, it affected me and my cabinet shop greatly. We invented it in 2004. To be honest with you, Will, I was in the shower and I prayed for some kind of guidance. I was at in a crossroads, whether to go off and do my own thing business-wise or whether to come back and run my dad's cabinet shop. And my dad was like a lot of cabinet shop owners today. They love the craft. They love what they do, and they're good at it. But it seemed to me that at the time in 2003, 2004, when I was fresh out of college, coming to take over the shop, there was very little margin and very little margin financially, very little margin in my dad's life in all the shop, because we were working 6 days a week, sometimes 7, all day long. So that margin that I saw was gone. I really didn't want to have any part of that. I wanted to live a life. I was newly married, and I wanted to have financial and also time margin in my life. So that's why we came up with Cabinotch.
Well, yeah, you mentioned going to college. Your degree is in business, right? Isn't that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've got 2.
So that's very different than a lot of woodworkers that start out just because they like making stuff. And they don't have any formal business training, and they suddenly discover they're running a business rather than just making stuff for fun. And
yes, sir.
That's, I think, a crucial thing that we try and get across to our audience is that you've got to learn the craft of business as well as the craft of woodworking.
Yes, sir. And that's really what excites me more than anything about Cabinotch. We today produce a box at Cabinotch to get it to the cabinet shops. But what this really allows us to do is to show these men and women that are in our craft, or maybe that are not in it yet, but are going to be, show them that you can be an artisan, but you can also be a businessman too. So we're trying to show you here, how can you outsource? And let's go back a little bit. The word outsource, when I was raised, that was kind of a bad word, because when somebody came to our
lots
shop,
of folks, they figure they got to make everything themselves.
for sure. And we were embarrassed when my dad started to outsource our doors. He didn't want anybody to know. He was like, people come to me because they're buying my cabinet. But at the end of the day, like most of the cabinet shops today are still outsourcing their doors because, the old adage, you do what you do well out, and it all comes out in the wash. So outsourcing is such a big thing.
I tell the shops, that have that feeling about outsourcing. I said, everybody outsources something. You're not, making your own screws and forging your own hardware, are you?
That's right.
You're not laying up the veneers for your own plywood, are you? Everybody's outsourcing something. It's just where you want to draw the line.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, I've seen how the Cabinotch system works, and it's really slick. You're using a very interesting sliding notch joinery to put the cabinets together, rather than dowels or conformat screws or any of that kind of stuff. I know you marketed the system directly to shops for a number of years, and then Columbia Forest Products bought it, and they made an attempt to expand the system nationally, I guess. But they recently sold it back to you. Can you fill us in on how all that has transpired and what's going on today?
Sure, absolutely. So we started the system back in 2004. We received a U.S. patent on that system, the assembly system. So we really appreciate the protection that we have under that. But to me, to be able to take that to the cabinet shop owners was such a big thing. Columbia came to me and said, "Hey, our goal with this is to see it in every American cabinet shop." So that was something that I could get behind. And that was the reason that I sold the patent to begin with. Columbia is a great company. They're a great supplier currently right now to us with their American made plywood. I know that there was some changes of inside the internal structure there at Columbia Forest Products. And I think they had seen a little bit of decline in the market, and they wanted to get Cabinotch back in the hand of really the inventor. So the powers that be there at Columbia contacted us and asked us if we would be interested in taking it back. And this year alone, we've had it really actually, as of 2 days ago, we've had it back one full year. So we've increased a lot of capacity, and we really got back to what we do and what we do really, really well. And that's to supply a complete box with all the parts that are all machined properly. So we've taken a lot of advancements this year. We've gone from just a handful of routers, and now we've got I've got like 11 routers on the floor today. So that was going from 3 or 4 up to 11, made our lead times get shorter. So we've got a lot of other scanning type of systems that we've implemented to make sure that our product is top notch. So that's really, Columbia was, I think they were wise to see that, because we've grown our company quite a bit this year. And everything that we use right now is their Columbia Pure Bond plywood.
That's really wonderful. Now, can you explain a little bit how the Cabinotch order process works step by step when folks order things? I mean, you're actually selling a custom product to people. It's not just stock boxes off the shelf. Isn't that correct?
That is correct. So, of course, Cabinotch was born in my dad's cabinet shop. So, and I knew that there was never a way for me as a craftsman that I could go and order 1-inch increments or 3-inch increments of an outsourced box. So the entire system is developed inside of a custom cabinet shop. So guys today, they can go online. There's multiple ways to get our product. They can go straight online, and they use what we call an a la carte type of system. So they can go on the website, pick a drawer over door, drag that on, select width, height, depth, 9 different species of wood they can get. They can get it raw interior, UV interior. Those are all selections you can do on the website. We also have partnered up with KCD, and KCD has a design suite that we use, and we have a library inside of their software. And what's really neat about that is that a customer can get the KCD software, can draw in our library, and within one button, they can get a price of what the Cabinotch system was going to be. And they get cabinet boxes, drawer runners, all of that quoted. So it allows people to process that order and allows the cabinet shop owner to spend less time in the office and more time doing the craft that he loves to do.
That's really great. Now, one of the things that I know happened under Columbia was that a frameless option was added to Cabinotch line. The original Cabinotch was done for a face frame application. Is that frameless option still part of the program, or have you gone back to just the face frame style?
No, it is very much alive and active. We have one construction method now. It's a hidden fastener that we use. And here in just a couple months, we're going to be rolling out 2 additional options for assembly methods. Because we do sell to all across the U.S., there are different people that want their cabinets assembled different ways. So we're giving people the option with that. So we're excited, and we do see a lot of growth in our full access, a frameless version. For me, it's not been in my neck of the woods here in Western Kentucky, but it's all across the country. So we're seeing it really grow. We're actually kind of shocked at how much it's grown within the last couple of years. So yeah, we're excited to roll those new options out. There's also going to be new ordering options that we've been working on. The moment I purchased the system back a year ago, we started developing another path to market. So another way that our customers can utilize all of our frameless line. So we've really put a lot of emphasis on how to order the frameless or the full access that will be coming out here in a couple months. So
that'll be a great thing to look forward to. I hear lots of anecdotal reports that the frameless, the full access line, as you call it, is increasingly popular among folks in urban apartments and young millennials who like that clean look and that sort of thing. So
yes, sir.
It's definitely expanding out.
Yes, for sure.
So what are your specific plans going into 2021? Are you still going to maintain all of your production in Kentucky? That was one of the things that Columbia was sort of trying to do, was have sort of satellite factories around the country, and I don't think that worked out for them very well.
Yeah. Yep. So currently we have a location here in Kentucky where all of our production is made today. We have procured another 7 acres right next to us, and there's 15 acres we have just now landed right across the street from our factory. So I've got a lot of growth potential here. I see that what it has done, what Cabinotch has done for me now that I've bought the company back, and of course with the pandemic, we've not been able to get on the road, and I've not been able to get out and tell the story to my peers, my custom cabinet guys, say, hey, look what this system has done for me, and let me tell you about it. So I think there's so much more growth to have happen up and down the East Coast. We do have an initiative that we're hoping to put a plant out west on the other side of the Rockies. We're hoping to have that nailed down by year's end. So I'm extremely excited about what that part of the country leads to us. We have about 18% of our work is already on the west side of the Rockies. But as anybody will attest to, freight getting over the mountain pass is extremely expensive. So we're wanting to try to help those customers out that we have over there with having a closer manufacturing facility there. So yeah, so we're excited a whole lot about what that'll give to us. And being really centrally located here in Kentucky, we're able to ship up and down the East Coast in the Midwest pretty easily. So we think we've got a good location where we are.
Yeah, that definitely works out for a big part of the country. No question about that. Um, can you boil it down real simple for folks? Why
Mhm.
should a shop that builds its own boxes now consider Cabinotch as an option?
Okay. Again, it was built inside of a custom cabinet shop. It's a wood to wood joinery system, which after it's put together, I firmly believe it's the most square box that's ever been. Goes together well in literally, I can build a cabinet in less than 5 minutes. So for me, if I'm convincing a shop owner, I'm going to ask them, hey, what's your biggest problems running a shop? And we hear it time and time again. Number one is I cannot find good help. And if I find them, I can't keep them around. So number one, Cabinotch fixes that labor problem. If you've got work to get done, a lot of these shop owners would do exactly what my father did. We worked 60, 70, 75 hours a week, which is not healthy. It cannot continue on that long. So Cabinotch gives them an option to buy their goods, and they don't miss out on anything because they're getting the product really delivered. We ship in 5 to 7 days, but in 7 to 10 business days, they have all of the box parts completely processed. They're labeled. They're in the box where they can go through and pull the parts. And all of our assembly methods are unique. Some of them are even patented. So it allows that custom cabinet shop to utilize the word outsourcing in a good fashion and say, hey, you can buy this stuff for less than you can build it for. And it allows the shop, it's beautiful to me to show what we talk about, the margin. Of course, time margin, you can build it so much faster. You can turn out probably 3 to 4 times what a shop could turn out without having to increase any labor whatsoever. It's just
Without
bringing the
any
boxes in.
sacrifice in quality either.
Oh, it's a top-notch box. So,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. No, it's. I've been impressed. I've seen you and some of your folks demonstrate it in the past, and it's I've seen it in action in shops, and the
Mhm.
parts slide together. It's a very slick system, and
Yep.
it makes for a solid square box, no question about it. You talked about margins and all. One of the things that I talk about a lot with shops with this kind of a situation is the opportunity cost. What are they missing out because they're spending that 60 or 70 hours getting out stuff when they could, bring on more customers or more product lines or investigate different markets, or, there's a
Mm-hmm.
whole bunch of opportunities out there, especially right now in the pandemic. Shops are doing pretty good because people are stuck home and they don't like their kitchens, and they want to build home offices, and they want to do this, that, and the other thing. And the shops have a lot of potential there, but
That's
a
right.
lot of them, they just can't meet it.
That's right. So, Will, the thing that really gets me excited is when I talk to customers. We have thousands of customers across the country, and I look at a lot of these guys, and that I see my dad in these guys. They're hardworking guys. Their hands are all calloused because they've worked. And when I can walk in and talk to somebody and convince them to give us an opportunity, I hear it time and time again that we get pictures or get text and images of guys that says, "Look what I'm doing. I haven't been on the golf course for years." Or, "Look, I'm actually have time on a Friday afternoon to take my grandson fishing." I don't care what you sell. If you've got something that is solid and it's economical and that allows you to do life better, well, that's what it's all about to me. So that's why I get so excited about saying, hey, I'm not here just to sell you a wood box. If I was just trying to sell you a wood box, my life would be so boring. I'm not. I'm selling a system that says, hey, I'm going to give you your life back. And it's so wonderful to try it and to see what it does. So it's a win-win-win for me and for the cabinet shop owners who are my peers that I love to talk to and sell to. So that's what I'm passionate about. And that's a truthful thing, that it's a win-win. And I just love what I do. And I love the opportunity that my cabinet shop customers have afforded me to continue to do this and to continue to grow, to continue to hear those stories of success, to gain that margin in their life back. So
That just sounds spectacular, Philip. And Now, if folks want to investigate this, what's your website?
Yeah, it's cabinotch.us is what the website is. Or they can go to cabinotch.com or
Cabinotch.
That's correct. Mm-hmm.
So
yes, sir.
It's definitely worth checking out. And one of the more creative and interesting outsource opportunities that I've seen in the several decades that I've been in this business. So congratulations to you, Phillip, for inventing it in the first place and for taking it back and developing the product again. It's a great opportunity for our audience. And
great.
Thank you for
so very
coming
much.
on the Woodworking podcast. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to being back anytime.
Sounds good, Phillip. You take care.
That's it for today. If you're looking for more of our podcasts, you can find all of them at woodworkingnetwork.com/podcasts and in popular podcast channels. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. Thanks again to today's sponsor, FDMC Magazine. If you have a comment or a topic you'd like us to explore, contact me at will.sampson@woodworkingnetwork.com. Thanks for listening.